welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Be sure and visit my Facebook group called Movie Review Mom, as well as my website, and subscribe to this channel. I know I'm asking a lot, but I really do appreciate it. The movie I'm reviewing today is called The Outpost. This movie is rated R. It's 2 hours and 3 minutes, and the Movie Review Mom grade I'm giving it is an A. It's really well done. Based on a true story and the book written about it, this military drama features a small team of U.S. soldiers who are stationed in a remote area of Afghanistan, and their battle against hundreds of Taliban fighters to hold their impossibly unprotected location outpost in Kamdesh in Afghanistan. This movie is not for the faint of heart, but it is worth a watch to learn about the heroes in this unknown story, a relatively unknown story and battle in history. This riveting combat film is directed by Rod Lurie, and it's actually dedicated to his son, who died from cardiac arrest at the young age of 27, right when they were in the middle of pre-production. Now, some tips for parents. This is a rated R movie, and I would not recommend it for young kids at all. For example, there is tons of profanity, including about 3.7 million F-bombs and very crude language. Now, those who have been to war or in extreme situations like this say that it's very realistic. There's also a very high body count with lots of blood and wounds and deaths. You see the naked backside of a soldier, which is mild in comparison to all of the other stuff that's going on. There are a lot of different kinds of weapons, and of course, there's a big battle, as well as daily skirmishes at this outpost. Now, some themes that are worth talking about with the people you watch the movie with are courage and valor, and maybe talk about what the difference is between those two things. Brotherhood. Now, these soldiers trash talk each other constantly, and yet they have got each other's back. And the movie really illustrates that well, that there is a deep and abiding respect and love for the soldiers who fight by their sides. Another theme is the cost of war and freedom. And then another interesting theme is trust. So not only the trust between the soldiers, but also the trust between these local Afghan villagers and the elders, and whether or not the soldiers can trust them or not as they're trying to help them gain freedom from the Taliban. It's really interesting to watch that, and to especially watch the dialogue as they sit in these friendship circles with the Afghans, trying to establish relationships of trust and confidence. Now, some things that I really liked about the movie are, first of all, the cast is fantastic. I haven't seen Orlando Bloom really in anything in a long time, and so it was really good to see him again. And I actually was really impressed with his American accent. There are some serious Hollywood pedigrees in this impressive cast. For example, Scott Eastwood, who's the son of legendary Clint Eastwood, and I thought he was really great in the movie. I'd read some reviews that said that they didn't think he was good, and I thought, wow, were you watching a different movie? Because I thought he played his role perfectly. Milo Gibson, who's the son of Mel Gibson, is in the cast. Scott Alda Coffey, who is the grandson of legendary Alan Alda. And I actually met him at an airport once. I asked him if I could take a selfie, and he said, no, not now. And I was like, dang it. I didn't say that to him, but it was really an honor just to meet him. And then Will Attenborough, who's the grandson of Richard Attenborough. And then James Jagger, who's son of Mick Jagger, not an actor, but a musician, of course, from the Rolling Stones. Truly outstanding in his role was Caleb Landry Jones. He's kind of the one to watch in the movie. Now, if you like first shooter video games, you will definitely feel like you are in the middle of playing one. This movie is extremely immersive, and it's such a shame that it's not on the big screen where we can all watch this in theaters. Of course, because theaters are closed. The only way that you can watch this movie right now is on Fandango and Vulu. I felt like the movie had impressive technical filmmaking. I'm just constantly amazed at how they film war movies like this, and the action and the combat sequences were just amazing, and it just felt so real. There are a ton of cultural references to kind of take you back in time to the year 2009 when these events actually occurred. I've read that the detail to accuracy was really good, that this movie is factually correct. And that's always a plus when you're trying to watch a movie that's about an event that really took place. Now, I don't know why, but I always get a kick out of movies that reference other movies. And so there are several mentioned in this movie, but there's this one scene where some guys are talking about Band of Brothers. And if you haven't seen that and you enjoy this movie, you absolutely should see Band of Brothers. It's excellent, created by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. And in fact, Tom Hanks's wife sings the song at the end of the movie called Everybody Cries, and it's really good. Anyway, I have four sons, and one of my sons was interested in the Army. And so I said, before you do anything, you first have to watch Band of Brothers and Saving Private Ryan. That's my all-time favorite military movie, because I wanted him to kind of get a more realistic picture of what war is all about. I've never been in war, but I've heard that those are very realistic. And, a lot of young boys tend to get a romanticized opinion of being in the Army and going to war. So I wanted him to know it's not all glory and victory. And in fact, when you finish watching this movie, you're not feeling triumphant. You're feeling just devastated and exhausted because of the sacrifices that were made during this battle. There is a little bit of humor, but I think a little bit more would have been nice to balance out all of the drama and the devastation in this film. Now, keep watching until the very end of the movie. I always love it when you get to see pictures and videos and even interview clips of the real people that the movies are based on. And so in this movie, you get to see all of that. It's as if the director of the movie just didn't want to end the movie because there's so much power in this content, and it's very sobering. And I loved seeing the pictures of the men who received medals of honor and other medals of valor. They absolutely deserved those, as well as anything else that we can give them. I think vets deserve our very best for simply being willing to make the sacrifices that they do. Listen really carefully to what one of the soldiers says about Memorial Day and the purpose of Memorial Day, and take note the next time that patriotic American holiday rolls around. Now, there were a few things I didn't like. First of all, as I mentioned, it's a shame that this movie couldn't be seen on the big screen, but that's not their fault. It's just so immersive that it would really be more impactful on the big screen. And there are some night scenes where it's really dark, which I think is going to make it really difficult to see what's going on when we stream the movie to small devices, small computer screens, or even on our cell phone. That would make it really hard, I think. So you want to try to see this on the largest screen possible. Now, this movie will make you angry. I was just furious, and I wonder whose idiotic idea was it to even put an outpost at the bottom of a valley surrounded by these tall mountains where the Taliban, the enemy, could easily crawl around the hills, and they do, shooting at the base, which is down below. That's just insane. It's so frustrating to watch these soldiers have to defend this stupid post and not be given all of the supplies that they need. You're just like, ah. And actually, that's not a bad thing about the movie. Actually, it's probably in the category of things I liked because it evokes such strong emotions from you. There is a lot of trash talk and a lot of bad language, and I get it, it's realistic, but my delicate ears were just burning. And while you get a small taste of each of the soldiers and their personalities, there just isn't enough time to develop these big character arcs. And honestly, the movie is not about the characters, their personalities, but the group and how they worked together to protect each other. It's about the battle and the heroism that these American soldiers demonstrated. And finally, I really liked one line that a soldier said. He says, "We got to win hearts and minds, and then it's blood and guts." That's exactly kind of sums up the movie, really, in one sentence. These soldiers are trying to make friends with the locals. In the meantime, they're being attacked by the enemy, which happen to also be some of the locals. It's just devastating. Now, if you like this movie, another movie that I think that you would also like is called 13 Hours, that true story behind the Benghazi attack. So that has a similar feel to it, and it's done really well. Okay, that's it from my review. Again, know going in that this is a full-on military combat movie. So if that doesn't appeal to you, then walk away. But if you really want to learn history and you maybe are a soldier, thank you for your military service to our country, and know that our country is praying for you every day, or at least my family and I are. Thank you again for spending a few minutes with me here at Movie Review Mom. Be safe, be healthy, be kind out there, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.